Hey guys, it's J-Funk. I've been doing the recent raid testing. I've been doing all the raid testing, and they had a recent raid test on the July 25th, 2024 here. It was the first boss, the third boss, and the second to last boss. This is the first boss, Ulgrax the Devourer. The main difference from the previous testings that I noticed was that he spawns more webs, and that's pretty much it. Everything else seemed pretty much the same. So these webs here, if you run into them, it'll stun you and put you into a cocoon that is killable. You can attack it. You can immunity these with AMS and turtle and stuff to like remove the web on the ground. It will also social to nearby players. So if you soak one of the webs and people are nearby, it'll stun them as well. Is one thing that you'll notice here in the video that happens to me once. And this is the main mechanic of this phase where it spawns a group soak. You need to have at least 5 people soak this, and then it starts to pull them, and the strength of the pull is dependent on how many people soaked it. The people that soaked it also get a minute-long debuff, so you need to have 2 groups that alternate. We did that minus the tanks. So here's more webs, and you're going to see here one of the DKs tries to immunity soak here, and then stuns 3 of us. But again, they don't have that much HP, so you can kind of just kill them. Also, these green circles will remove the webs on the ground, and you can use these green circles to remove anyone in cocoons as well, so it's kind of nice. While the group soak is happening, you don't want to be underneath the boss here because he'll kill you, so melee, make sure not to be underneath the boss right here. Stay away from that. You see the hunter gets eaten there. But he'll do 2 of those group soaks, and then he'll go into intermission, and then once the intermission is over, he'll go back into this phase. So there's Hulking Crash. Now I use Fort Brew and Karma here because there was a bug, I think, where I was getting hit twice by Hulking Crash and dying sometimes. I don't know why. I'm not sure if this circle here does damage. I was just moving out of it just to be safe. And then he'll do Juggernaut Charge. So he'll telegraph a line. Just don't be in that line. And then you'll see here all these eggs over here. These eggs are where all these ads are going to spawn. So you want to ideally have everyone eventually move over to like this side of the room and group up. So you'll see we're all trying to like congregate over here, but there's a charge that was cutting people off. There's 2 different kinds of ads. There's Ravenous Spawn and Bile Soak Spawn. The Ravenous Spawn are kind of targeting random people and casting Disembowel. The Bile Soak Spawn are tank ads. You need to tank them and kill them. I was popping CDs here. You don't really need to pop CDs here, but this is the only time that you can ever really wipe in this fight is if you get overwhelmed by ads. When you kill Ravenous Spawn, they'll drop Chunky Viscera, and when you kill Bile Soak Spawn, they'll drop Bile Soak Viscera. The main difference between these two is that the Chunky Viscera, you want to have DPS and healers pick up. The Bile Soak applies a dot to you, a heavy dot, when you pick it up. So I think the idea is you want to have tanks ferry those to the boss. So you're going to pick up the Chunky Viscera, or any Viscera really, and then you're going to go to the boss, and you're going to use your extra action button and feed him. It's pretty self-explanatory. And meanwhile, he's just constantly casting Hungering Bellows, and once he does, he gets a stacking buff that increases physical damage done, and this does physical damage. One thing that isn't shown in this part, and maybe is shown later, is that right before, like as he comes up, after he comes up here, he will spawn a bunch of webs. So we had hunters turtling and just kind of clearing a path for us that goes straight to the boss. And then we're back into phase 1. The main difference here is that there's just more webbing already up, and you eventually run out of space for webbing, but it seemed like you could probably kill them in like 2 phase 1s. We're scaled to 610 here, so I'm not sure what the eye level will be by the time that happens. But one thing you saw there is someone got in the corner there. Let me go back just a little bit. This evoker gets this thing here. Maybe it's a shaman. They have the circle, they get the webbing, the cocoon, and then it removes the cocoon as the circle goes off. It makes that mechanic a little bit easier. But that's pretty much the entire fight. It just kind of rinse repeats at that point. It doesn't get harder in P1, really. So you could theoretically just take as long as you wanted to kill this boss in P1. Just go as far as possible, just do the mechanics and the boss dies, pretty much. The hardest part just seemed like clearing a path to the web, so you're kind of comp dependent. You kind of want some like hunters or DKs or something to be able to do that. Otherwise, if you don't have those, it felt like this fight might actually be kind of tricky to deal with. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy. So you'll see I'll get the circle here, and I didn't know where to put this, but I was trying to clear a path to the boss in melee here so people don't get Because ideally you want to have a path to the boss so as people are getting pulled, they don't get pulled into webs. So trying to clear as much as I can there. So after this pull, he'll go into intermission, and as you see, he's already at like 10%. We probably could have killed him, to be honest, before he went down, but there really isn't any downside to that other than just like wasting more time. Important to note, he'll always leap to the middle of the room with hulking crash. It does knockback, so you could get knocked off the platform, in theory, but the knockback isn't very big in terms of strength. Let's see, we get into like 2%, and then we gotta do an ad phase, but it's fine. The eggs spawn next to us, so we're just kind of chilling here, waiting for the eggs to spawn. The tanks will pick them up, and we just AoE them down, and then feed the boss. It is important to note that while he is doing his channel, before he's fully fed, he does take 99% reduced damage, so you have to feed him, otherwise you can't do damage to him. I forgot to mention that earlier, but that is important. Yeah, I cooled down these ads. I cooldowned earlier because I didn't know where to use my cooldowns in this fight. I guess saving them for ads seems fine because they need to die. Yeah, we just slam the boss. I don't know where the boss is coming up. I think it's across the room from us. I think it's always across the room from you. But we're just killing these as fast as possible. See, he spawns more webs. You can stun these ads and stuff. And you can, like, ring a piece, whatever you have. Because they will just run towards random people, I think, sometimes, and just hit them. And then you just gotta feed the boss. So we see that you have the hunter here. He's turtling and cheating and just clearing all the webs that are to the boss. So we have a clear path to the boss. And then once that's done, the boss is really easy. And once we feed the boss dies. That's pretty much Ulgrax the Devourer. First boss, pretty simple. I don't think it's too bad for a first boss. It's kind of fun. It's not really a spectacle as you would expect, but whatever. I'll let the kill play out here, but that'll do it for me. I will make a video of the next couple bosses we tested as well, so be on the lookout for those. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.